From the atrocities of the war in Gaza to life on the front line in Ukraine, the VisaPourL'Image photo festival in Perpignan brings us the arresting pictures that make the front page, as well as the documentary stories that reveal unknown worlds and unreported lives. In its 36th edition, the gathering has become the go-to event for photojournalism, and one of the exhibitions showing at the festival this year is called The Screen Generation by Jérôme Gence. Let's take a look. Well, Jérôme joins us in the studio. Hi, Jérôme. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Now, the subject of this prize-winning series is screen time, something we're all quite familiar with, but I learned through the text accompanying this exhibition that French teenagers now spend 36 hours a week on average in front of screens, which is incredible. Why did you choose to document this phenomenon?
Actually, as a photojournalist, I've been documenting the virtual world for 4 years now. And, I travel all over the world and observing people, what they do in the street, at their home. I'm lucky enough to be invited in many, many places. And, I ask myself, what about the future with the new technologies? And when you ask this kind of question, you come up with the kids, So also because of my age, I'm turned 40 and I have 2 babies. So as a parent, I ask myself, what is the impact of the new technologies for the kids?
Well, the effects of screen time are now starting to be discussed by medical professionals. Of course, there are some major concerns when it comes to the psychological well-being of young people. One of your images shows some of that concern, some of those emotions. Can you explain what's happening in this photo in particular?
Yeah, it was at 3018 call center. It's a French national call center which help the kids who are in danger, I would say. They are cyber erased.
So cyberbullying,
yes, they have to deal with webcam blackmail. And so it's really, really tough job for the psychologists who work there, because they have to, just with their voice, they have to help those kids who sometimes want just to kill themselves. So as a photographer, I had to find a way to illustrate and the emotion of the voice. And so that's the reason I spent couple of evenings with them, because many media came to, it's a trendy topic, many media came to interview them during daytime, but no one came at nighttime, which I think it's the worst case for the kids, dealing with the devices. So I spent time with them and using photography to capture this emotion.
Absolutely.
Through the voice.
How they're feeling, indeed. Well, while social media was arguably developed to connect human beings, as young people spend more time in front of screens, they often report feeling lonely. Why do you think these digital connections don't seem to be making us feel so connected emotionally or socially?
Yeah, through my story, I realized after all that I've been documenting loneliness for 4 years now by photographing those people. I mean, we are trying to connect the world together, but to me it's really strange, because most of the time we don't even know the name of our neighbor. And so to tell you how the challenge is so huge for the humanity, and the question for kids is what we want to give to them. And do we want to put them in a sleeping mode? Nowadays, you don't see any kids in the street anymore. I was born in an island. We used to play outside, we used to be careful with the car and stuff to take risk, actually. And that's the question we have to deal with now. I
The
think.
virtual world has become the playground.
Exactly, but is that so safe as we pretend? I don't think so. By photographing those people.
Yeah, it's all very new still. Well, as our existences become increasingly mediated by screens at work or at play, artificial intelligence is also becoming a huge factor in what we see on those screens. AI-generated art is nothing new, but it's getting sophisticated enough to trick us into thinking it was made by humans. Olivia Bizot and Jennifer Benrahim have this report.
You wouldn't know it, but this photo portrait was made using artificial intelligence. It won the first prize in a prestigious Sony competition.
I was surprised that I won. I was also surprised that after I told the awards that it's AI generated and suggested that we need to have a discussion about this and that AI generated images should not compete with photography in the same category, that this suggestion by mine was just not responded to.
Boris Eldrickson refused the award, saying he only entered a photo to speed up the debate about the use of AI in the industry. Today, just about anyone can create art from scratch by simply typing a few words on a computer. But can that be considered art? Is AI threatening the livelihoods of artists? And is the technology being used to steal their art? Carla Ortiz, an illustrator based in San Francisco, sued the company Stability AI for using her work without getting proper copy, credit, or consent.
I'm starting to see AI encroach in my industry. I have heard many reports from artists around the world that they've lost commissions over this. It's happening rapidly.
While many artists see AI as competition, others see it as a tool. Last year, Japan's first AI-drawn manga hit the shelves. The author, who goes by the name of Rootport and who's hiding his identity behind an avatar, admits he turned to AI because he had absolutely zero drawing talent.
I can say AI drawing is far faster than hand drawing. While a full colour illustration takes an artist one full day, no matter how fast the person draws, this tool finishes in a minute or so. I think this is a clear advantage.
From mangas to photography to music, AI is taking over. Many, like Constant Brinkman, are even betting on it. He opened the world's very first AI gallery in Amsterdam.
This is not going away. The genie is out of the bottle. It's here to stay.
So, Jérôme, there we saw an artist whose work has been more or less stolen, Boris Eldrickson, who wanted a debate about AI. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about your own work being fed into the machine?
It's a difficult question, but to me, I prefer to give priority to the normal thing that I feel as human being. What I love about my job as photojournalist is when I go somewhere, to meet people, I never know who I'm going to meet. When I'm here with you now in English, I have to speak with you, and I'm scared to not find my words. This is mystery of life, and I don't want to live in a world that everything can be possible. I want to keep, and that's the thing also with the kids. I think today we should talk more about dreams, about to wait something and to deal with the risk that we're not going to find what we want to find. And that's the thing I prefer to.
Yeah, a world where not everything can be calculated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, going much to more concrete, real-life subject matter that you photographed, in fact, I believe your first real photojournalistic project was in the Himalayas. Tell us about that journey and what you took away from it.
Yeah, it was just before my 30. I was born on Réunion Island, and at that time I dreamed about the Himalayas. Some lecturer came to my school, and we didn't have internet, of course, at that time. And when I was 18, I moved to Paris. I became a data analyst. And then I had a comfortable life and like wonderful life in Paris, but I decided to give priority to that dream, and I felt bored, let's be honest. And so I decided to do the journey by land to the Himalayas. I arrived 2 days before the earthquake. 9,000 people died. And I stayed in Nepal. And in this KO, I met Eric Valli, who is a really famous National Geographic photographer. And he advised me to tell story. He said to me that photographing people, it's not enough. You have to give a voice to them. And that's the most beautiful thing about my job is I don't photograph people because they are beautiful. I photograph them because they have something to tell to me. And as a data analyst, I say, what kind of topic I should talk about? There are many photographers, talented photographers, photograph war, environment issues, and I will never thought that it's gonna dive me into this virtual world through Japan, Korea, China, the US, and Europe now with the screen generation.
But most of all, it was a story of connection, ironically, through the screen of your digital camera. Jérôme, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll leave you with some more imagery from the dozens of exhibitions on show at VisaPourL'Image, with photos that take us from the US-Mexico border to Ethiopia via the pro-democracy demos in Iran. That festival runs until September 15th in Perpignan. Otherwise, do join us next time on Arts 24 for more arts and culture, and on our social media too.